My sermon today, well, last week I talked about courage to climb. I told you I wanted to stay on this theme of courage, right? So last week was courage to climb. And I hope you reflected on it. I hope you chewed on it a little bit more. And you took on the challenge of the week. Today, I want to speak about the challenge to return home. But I was debating whether to call it the courage to come home. Maybe I like courage to come home better. Courage to come home. Yeah, when you make a sermon, then you get to giving it a title. All right, so that can be the hardest part sometimes. So what should I name this child? So can be the hardest part sometimes. But I like, courage to come home. Sounds good? All right. All right. They're changing it? Yeah. Well, they can change it from back there. Yeah. Sometimes we need courage to go back home. All right, no, it's not coming. When people are far from home, they tend to think about their hometown and long for their parents. That's probably all of us, right? Most people here were not born and raised here. So maybe you think about your hometown. You think about your parents. You long for them. For me, it's kind of a deep longing on my heart is that I don't know where my hometown is. All right, so that's an all different challenge right there. Because I lived in different places. So I was born somewhere. Then my parents were assigned to a different mission. And when I was 6, 7 years old, moved to somewhere else. Lived for 6 years there. Then around 12 years old, we moved back to where I was born. And lived there for another 5, 6 years. And then I moved, and I lived in Zambia for another 4, 5 years or so. Then I'm here in America. Then I was in Michigan for maybe 6 years. Then I went to Indiana for 4 years, and now I'm here. Right. So, yeah, amazing, right? Yeah, but sometimes, I feel I ask myself, who are my people? Right, I have this longing in my heart. I don't know who my people are because I've lived everywhere, so I thought Indiana is my people, but now I'm here. And I don't know how long I'm here for, or, forever. Let's see. We'll find out. Yeah, for as long as I'm needed, and I'm happy to be here. But we'll see. Maybe God needs me somewhere, or God still needs me here. And Seeker say, don't even think about it. All right, I'll stop thinking about it. We long for our hometowns. You long for it. It's right. Dr. Schmidt, where is home for you? Yeah. Also difficult. Yeah. Your father was in the military, right? Right, traveling everywhere. So he lived everywhere. And then he was a missionary for what, 50 years? Yeah, 50 years he was gone. And so can you imagine you must have that kind of longing. And so where is my hometown? Who are my people? When I was younger, I cried about it sometimes, but not anymore. So where is home for you? Yeah. Here? This is your home? Did you grow up here? No, you are from England. Your new home. Okay. You adopted this home. So you just live long enough in one place and it becomes your home? Let's see. If you love it. All right. So maybe that's key. All right. How about Tayson? You're going back home? Yeah. Tayson will be going back to Japan soon. Yeah. So, oh no. All right. See, everybody say you should stay. Yeah. Uncle John, do you feel this is home now for you? Yeah? You're still looking for your home. Wow. Well, we should talk to each other more, right? There's so much we can learn about each other. If we talk to each other more, you can find out about the deep longing of brothers and sisters. But hopefully by the end of today, you can find your home. All right. I want to help us find our home. So the definition of home is the place where one lives permanently, especially as a member of a family or household. And I was just thinking, by this definition, it is true that this world is not our home because we don't live here permanently. Right? So when I realized this, I felt, well, I'm looking for the right thing in the wrong places. Because I'm not here permanently. None of us is here permanently. So our hometown is not here. All right, so maybe that's step one of helping us. This is our hometown is not here. Then Father said, we need to return to our hometown. That is to our true hometown. But where is it? It is the place where love is. Our hometown is the place where our profound feelings of love are deeply embedded. As you head towards your hometown, whom are you seeking to meet? You are yearning for the embrace of your parents. That is why you are returning to your hometown. So the place where true love is, the place where we feel true love, that is our hometown. Okay, we'll reflect a little bit more on that. But the deepest longing of humankind is to be embraced by our parents. And God is our heavenly parent. Our deepest longing is to be in the place where we can be embraced by God, where we can feel the love of God, our heavenly parent. That place where we experience that is our hometown. Oh, that was the quietest clap I've ever heard. That's fine. All right. Then, Father goes on. God is the one for whom everyone yearns. His dwelling place is where all people want to visit and live. What is it like in that place of happiness, the ideal original homeland? Simply speaking, it is a place to which we long to go. In that place, our beloved parents and siblings live. This is why we want to visit this original homeland and live there together in joy and happiness for all eternity without ever leaving. We human beings lost this original homeland. Hence, we must find that place and go there without fail. Wow. So this is what we are longing for. This is our deepest longing, to go back to that place where we experience the original love of God. So the place where we were born or where we grow up is our secondary homeland. Even if we went to that place, there would still be an emptiness, a yearning in our heart, because we are always longing for the original homeland. And our original homeland is the heart of Heavenly Parents. Is the place where we become one with God as our Heavenly Parent. That is our hometown. All right, now you can take your phone and put the address and go to that place. Go to that place. All right. So it's not that simple. All right. I want to simplify it a little bit, right? So where is home is where our Heavenly Parents is, where we experience our Heavenly Parents. Home is where my heart meets Heavenly Parents' heart. When I become one with Heavenly Parents, there is home. That's where we experience Jesus' request to not worry. Right? Jesus said, don't worry about anything. That place is where there is no worries. As our second daughter is 6 month old now, and I bottle feed her, and she's playing with my beers while I am feeding her. It's like she's just experiencing in peace in that moment. Have you seen a baby feeding? Like they play with their feet, put them up, and it's like there is no worry in the world. Or that's our homeland. That is the place that we yearn to be. In that place of no worries. But it can only be experienced in the presence of God, our Heavenly Parent. So, home is the place where our original faith, original hope, and original love reside. That place is our hometown. Think about that time when you experienced faith. You learned the divine principle for the first time. And the parallels of history blew your minds. And you're like, this is it. This is the best thing ever. And you were so excited that you dropped everything. Now you look back, you think, that's crazy that I could do that, right? You dropped everything and just went and lived in a cargo van for 12 years. You did that. That place is your hometown. That place of great excitement where you believe that this world will change through my effort. That place is your original hometown. Unfortunately, with time, we lose it, right? We become disillusioned by a bad leader or a bad experience, this and that. Then we lose that hometown. But Father is saying, we must return to our hometown. We must return to that place where you are so excited to help change this world that nothing mattered. That is our hometown. Oh, that time when some of you receive your blessing in marriage by picture. You receive the picture of your spouse and you are so excited. Or you were in the Grand Ballroom in New York, and our true parents called you and say, come forward. And you're saying, whoa, this is the moment. I hear some people did not find a match at that time and they were so sad. They had to come back some other time. But everybody was so excited in that moment. And then Father, our true Father, if you're here for the first time, we refer to our founders as True Father and True Mother, or Holy Mother Ann, and together true parents. And so Father called you and say, wow, this is your spouse. This is your spouse. And then did you go up the stairs to discuss, right? You went up the stairs and then you discussed and say, do you want to do this? And say, of course I want to do this. Maybe some of you didn't speak the same language, needed an interpreter or something, but you were so excited in that moment. It was like the best thing ever. It was like the best thing ever. That place, that feeling is your hometown. And Father say, you must return to that place. That is your hometown. We have to do whatever it takes to return to that place, to that feeling you had in that moment. Maybe I just want to ask you to close your eyes, those of you who went through that experience, and just relive that moment. Relive that moment. See Father calling you, or maybe grabbing your hands and with his really strong grip and yanking you, and say, this is your person. Putting you together in a moment that changed your life completely. Can you relive that moment? That is your hometown. And Father say, go back to that moment. Have to go back to that moment. Find the excitement of that moment. And I know, it might be hard because you have experienced so much after that, right? You have experienced so much after that, and you have lost your sight of your hometown. But Father say, you must do whatever it takes to return to that place, to that joy, that excitement that you had in that moment. It's the same for the second generation. Wow, I was, I shared with you that I tried so many times. I had so many conversations, and then finally, my wife came into my life, and we talked, and it was like a good conversation, very smooth, and we liked each other, and we were ready to get engaged. And my wife was very strict, actually. She didn't even want me to hug her. She really wanted to protect herself. She said, just in case this doesn't work. All right, just in case this doesn't work. And so I had this longing for the day I get to hug her. It's like one day I get to hug her. She wouldn't even let me hold her hands. And, and the day we got engaged, I could hold her hands, I could hug her. And it was the best day of my life. And I didn't want to let go of her hands because I waited so long for this moment. And so I would hold her hands, and that is my hometown. And Father say, you must return to that place, to that moment, that joy, that excitement that you had in that moment, for that is your hometown. That is the thing that, the Bible says, a thief comes only to steal and destroy. Satan has one goal, to steal that moment from you. To make you, to distract you, to make you lose sight of that moment, lose that feeling, lose the love, the hope that you felt in that moment. That's the only work of Satan, to distract you from that moment. Then your job is to protect it. Is to protect it, to return to that place, is to experience, to relive that moment over and over again. That is your hometown, that heaven is calling you to return to. So The joy you had as a child. Jesus says the kingdom of heaven belongs to children, and let them come to me. And you don't block them. It belongs to children. But home is the place where the joy and innocence of our childhood resides. Then we go through life, we lose it. But that is our hometown. That is the place we must return to. That place of pure joy. That place of pure joy. Now, I'm teaching our second daughter to sit it, and then I would give her just a plastic bag, and it's like the best thing to help her just stay there, and she's playing with it. At the same time, she's strengthening her back. But just that plastic is like the best toy ever. I'm sure parents know, don't spend so much money buying toys because they would play with the most ridiculous things. So just that plastic, that joy, and she's screaming and she's playing with it. That is our hometown. That is the place that Heavenly Parent wants us to be, with that pure joy. Just pure joy, that innocence is where we must return. Wow. I already talked about it. The joy, the hope, the excitement that you felt when you first looked at your spouse. You looked at them and it's like, wow, I'm going to conquer the world with this person. That is your hometown. That is where Heavenly Parent wants you to return. That is the feeling that Heavenly Parent wants you to hold on to. Even for the second generation, the moment you really felt deep in your heart that this is the one. This is the one. I remember he's not here, but I can talk about him. I remember Kenji Oribe was talking to Gabi. And they had been talking for a long time. I didn't know it was Gabi. And so I came here and I saw him and we were just chatting. And I said, well, so you're getting blessed soon? And he said, wow, yeah, I've been talking to this person. Then I say, well, what do you appreciate about this person? Because you say, because we are at the point where we need to decide, but I don't know how to decide. Then I ask him, what do you appreciate about this person? Then he began to share, and his face lit up. His face just was lighting up in that moment. And I said to him, I can see it in your eyes that you love this lady. And then he was quiet, and then he said, yes, it's true. And I said, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? But he was so excited. He had so much admiration and so much respect for this person. And then I said, who is it? Then he said, it's Gabi. I say, come on, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? So then they got engaged. I don't know if it's that talk or not, but he did give me some credits afterwards. But that joy, that excitement of the moment is our hometown. Is our hometown. Well, before you knew all the things that you criticize your spouse about, right now, before that is your hometown. And Heavenly Parent, He say, return to that place. You have to do whatever it takes to return to that place. How about the joy and excitement you felt when you first looked at your child? Maybe now they are not they are not living according to what you feel is the right way for them to live, and you are challenged by them. True Father is teaching us that joy you felt, that excitement is your hometown. You must return to that place. Well, as a child too, you might not remember, but there was a time that you looked up to your parent with great admiration. When they fed you, You looked up to them with great admiration. And maybe your mother fed you, holding you, and you looked up to her and you were playful. Oh, it was like the best thing in the world. That admiration, you might not remember it, but that is your hometown. And God is saying, return to that place where you didn't know that your parents are flawed. Return to that place, for that is your hometown. That is our hometown. When you first met true parents, when you first learned the divine principle and your life was completely changed. For the second generation, that one camp, remember that one summer camp or winter camp that you went to? Oh, and you really felt like on high with your faith. You really felt like, wow, I experienced God. That is your hometown. And Heavenly Parent is saying, return to that moment. That is your hometown. Do whatever it takes to return to that moment. So the journey of faith, actually, it may look like it's a journey forward, but it's actually a journey backward. It's a journey backwards because we are returning to our hometown. So think of that moment and return to that moment. But it does take a lot of courage to return to that moment, because you have to deal with all the things that you have experienced between that moment and now. So returning home takes a lot of courage. To deal with it, you have to face it so that you can get to that moment. We, human beings, lost this original homeland. Hence, we must find that place and go there without fail. Find it and go back to that place without fail. The 64th Holy Wedding Anniversary, 2024. Mother themed it that day. That day meaning the day of the Holy Wedding. And as she sat there were images of all the things that she had gone through with Father, all the experiences as that she had gone, they went through together, and she sat there. She sat there reminiscing in all those moments. She themed it that day. All of us have that day. And Heavenly Parent is asking us to return to that day. Return to that day. Hold on to that day. Cherish it. Carry it deeply in your heart. I feel, the Bible says, guard your heart. But really what the Bible is saying is, guard the content of that day that lives in your heart. That day. So think about that day. Remember it and go back to it. Live there, because that is your hometown. So we must do whatever it takes to return to the joy of that day. This is heaven's will for us. As I was preparing my sermon, I think I wanted to end here. But the parable of the prodigal son came to me. And so I added it last minute. And so this part is an addition to my sermon. But Jesus begins to tell the story of a father who had two sons. And then one day, the younger son decides and say, Father, I think I'm going to have an inheritance as from all your riches. How about you give me my portion right now? You're going to give it to me at some point. How about right now? Just give it to me right now. Then the father said, okay. He gave him his portion of his inheritance. And then soon he decided to go to a faraway country. He goes away. And there he wastes all his riches, all his money, all his inheritance. Inheritance, he wastes it. He loses everything. And Jesus says, and when he had spent everything, a severe famine across in the severe famine arose in that country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him into his fields to feed pigs. And he was longing to be fed with the pods that the pigs ate. And no one gave him anything. So he became in a very difficult situation, and where he started eating, even longing to eat with the pigs, what the pigs ate, But when he came to himself, he said, how many of my father's hired servants, now the lesson is right here, how many of my father's hired servants and have more than enough bread, but I perish here with hunger. I will rise and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me as one of your hired servants. And then he went to his father. And then Jesus tells the story that before he even reached home, as he was approaching, his father rushed to him, embracing him and ordered that he may be washed, and the best robes put on him, and the fattest cow be slaughtered to celebrate him. But when he arrived, here's what he said to his father. He said, Father, I'm not worthy. Please, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servant, and bring quickly one of the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hands and shoes on his feet, and bring the fattest calf and kill it. And they began to celebrate. They celebrated his return. My reflection about this leads me to a few things. Also I'll share a few lessons from this. Sin separates us from God, our heavenly parent. Sin separates us from God, our heavenly parent. Separation from God makes us lose sight of our home. When we are away from God, when we are separated from God in our heart, we feel empty. We feel that we are missing our hometown. And this younger brother was away from God, was away from the hearts of the parents, and he began to suffer. When we lose sight of our home, we lose everything. He lost everything. I'm not thinking about material possessions. I'm thinking about losing the joy, the excitement, the hope that we feel deeply in our hearts. I believe we first lose internally before we lose externally. So he lost everything because he was away from the hearts of the parents. But then ultimately we lose ourselves. He is a son, but he began to think, I can go back even as a servant. When we lose sight of our home, we lose sight of our identity. Then we begin to settle for less than what God expects for us to experience. What you are experiencing right now is not God's dream for you. God's dream, God's desire for you is the joy and the excitement of being at home. The joy and excitement that you felt on that day, that is God's dream for you. But this son began to see himself as being less. He said, I can go back as a servant. That is all of us. We feel, oh, I have made mistakes. I am no good. Maybe I don't deserve. Maybe that's why some people don't sit in the front row. Because they feel, I'm not good. I'm not good enough to sit in the front row. But God's hope and desire for you is that you sit in the front row. Well, I'm not talking about the front row of this church. God's hope and dream for you is that you deserve all the best things that this world, this life has to offer. But we feel, I don't deserve it. I have made mistakes. I am not good enough. Then we are limited by this self-concept that we have developed ourselves. Wow. The truth of all truth is that nothing can separate us from the love of God, our Heavenly Parent. His essence is to be our Heavenly Parent and live with us for eternity. When I think about this, our true mother reminds us and encourages us over and over. She says, you must study the essence of Heavenly Parent. And last night I was thinking, because if we know the essence of our Heavenly Parent, we don't settle for less. If we know that God loses His essence without us, then we don't settle for less. Actually, God finds value in being your Heavenly Parent. That is His essence. Now, for someone, and that might mean that God is being reduced. No, it doesn't mean God is being reduced. It just means that you are being elevated. Because you have gone way too low than your true identity. The true essence of God is to be your Heavenly Parent. And when we don't allow God to be our Heavenly Parent, in a sense, we are forcing God to lose His essence. So we must return home to that place where we are sons and daughters. Return home because God is excited for us to be back home. Even before you get there, just the moment you start thinking about returning home, God is already rushing to you, embracing you and say, welcome back, my son. Welcome back, my daughter. Here is the best robe. I want to put it on you. Then everybody kill the fattest calf. Kill the fattest cow. Let us celebrate. Let us celebrate my son, my daughter, because this is Heavenly Parent's heart. You don't even need to earn it. It's just given to you. So here's my call today. Come home. Come home. Let us all go back home. Let us return to that place where we experience our greatest joy, our greatest excitement, where our faith was alive, where our hope was alive. We have to return to that place. Heavenly Parent is calling us to that place. He's waiting for us in that place and say, come my son, come my daughter. This is your hometown. So brothers and sisters, let us go back home. Let us return home. Let us find the courage that we need to go back to that place. I'm excited for this church to be an excited church. I'm excited for this church to find faith, to find hope, to find deep love for Heavenly Parent. I'm excited for that. But we can only do it when we do it together. So let us go back home. Let us return home to that place. As individuals, as couples, as families, as brothers and sisters, let us return home to that place, because this is God's will for us, to live in that place of joy. So my challenge for us this week, which aspect of my God's given home have I lost sight of? I want you to think about this. I want you to reflect on it. Then pray to God. Pray to God for courage and restoration. Ask God, give me the courage to go back to that place. Please restore my courage. Give me the strength that I need to go back to that place. This is God's will for us. This is God's desire. This is God's deepest longing for each one of us. So I hope we can go forward in this week with this kind of hearts longing and yearning for our hometown and finding the courage that we need to return to that place. Please join me in prayer. Dear God, our Heavenly Parents, victorious true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, thank you so much for this day. You brought us together here as a community, as your sons and daughters. You're reminding us to find the courage, to have courage to go back to our hometown. Our hometown is the place where we become one with you. This is the purpose of Jesus coming. This is the purpose of true parents coming. And we truly want to unite with it. We want to strive to become a people who live at home with you, who are always home with you, in that place where we experience over and over our first love with you, Heavenly Parent. So I pray that you may restore this kind of feeling. You may restore this kind of love. Restore in us the joy of life, Heavenly Parent. Restore in this church the joy of life, Heavenly Parent, so that we may become a church that is living and breathing, so that we may become a church that is moving forward in spirit and truth, as our true Mother is asking us to. Please allow that each one of us can be revived and find the courage to return home. So I pray, Heavenly Parent, that you can use the words that were spoken here this morning and allow that they may find a place in the hearts of each one of us gathered here. And Heavenly Parent, allow that they may bear the fruits that you intended for them to bear. I want to pray that you can bless each one of us, bless this community, that we can grow and become a shining light for this nation, to inspire all the communities in this nation and all over the world, Heavenly Parent, as our true Mother is longing for that one place where the model can be shown, Heavenly Parent. Allow that this can become the place where the model is shown. Allow that each one of us can be excited and motivated in our hearts to show the model for the world to see. This world needs it, Heavenly Parent. This world needs you. This world needs our true parents. This world needs your love, Heavenly Parent. I want to pray that you may allow each one of us to become a vessel, to become your vessel, the vessel of your love, Heavenly Parent. I pray all this offering up to you in my name, Hebangja, blessed true family, gratefully attending Holy Mother Han. Aju.